Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I have some breaking news because I'm a couple hours late. I had work. I apologize. But, I guess the cat's out of the bag. Khamzat Chimaev is now fighting Kamaru Usman at UFC 294. And Paulo Costa is out because it was shoulder infection, an elbow infection. He had staph infection, couldn't make it to the fight. And I kind of knew this. MMA Joey made some incredible videos breaking this down, talking about it. But, there are a lot of other creators also talked about this. But, I was kind of adamant that Paulo Costa was not going to be fighting. I knew this fight wasn't going to happen, and it's kind of unfortunate because this is my most anticipated fight of the year. I wanted to see Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa more than any other fight. You know what I mean? Maybe Alex Pereira versus Yuri Prochazka. Maybe like Volkanovski versus Yair Rodriguez. Dricus du Plessis versus Robert Whittaker. Some of these other fights, maybe Dricus versus Adesanya. But as far as booked fights, not many have really peaked in all of my time watching MMA. Have really peaked Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa. It was going to happen at UFC 294, and unfortunately, it's not happening anymore. And that's just a bummer. It's a bummer that Paulo Costa had to pull out. Apparently, he was not medically cleared to make the fight. They call Usman from the other side of the world on 10 days' notice, up a weight class, 36 years old, 2-fight losing streak, cobblestone, wobblestone knees, comes up in weight, and fights, Khamzat Chimaev on 10 days' notice. You know what I mean? What an incredible fighter. And all respect to Kamaru Usman, all respect for Khamzat Chimaev. A lot of people aren't going to give Khamzat Chimaev credit. A lot of people are going to go, oh, well, he beat Kamaru Usman up a weight class. Like all the things I just listed, they're going to say that. Like, oh, he beat Kamaru Usman up a weight class, 36 years old, 2-fight losing streak. Now it's a 3-fight losing streak. 10 days notice. They're not going to give, Khamzat Chimaev credit for fighting someone that's a completely different stylistic matchup than a guy like Paulo Costa. Whereas if Kamaru Usman wins, he's in a win-win situation. Because if he loses, well, he was up a weight class, he's 36 years old, 2-fight losing streak, 10 days notice, across the world, all these things. And, he can go down to welterweight, maybe get one more win over like a guy like Belal Muhammad or something, and then he can go and fight for the title because maybe Colby Covington wins the title and, he has the history with Colby Covington. Maybe they give Kamaru Usman a title shot because he has 2 wins over the current champion if Colby wins. But you know what I mean? This is a win-win situation for Kamaru Usman, and it's a lose-lose situation for Khamzat Chimaev. But it's more of like a lose-lose win, because if Khamzat Chimaev sleeps Kamaru Usman out cold, what a moment that's going to be. The casual fans don't care about Kamaru Usman being up a weight class. The casual fans don't care about Kamaru Usman being 36 years old. The casual fans are going to see the absolute superstar in Khamzat Chimaev knocking Kamaru Usman out cold. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but if it does happen, what a moment that would be. That would be significantly bigger than Sean O'Malley knocking out Aljamain Sterling. That would be significantly bigger than, Alex Pereira knocking out Israel Adesanya. This would be a moment where it's like, oh, this guy's different. Like, Khamzat Chimaev has the star power, the potential, in my opinion, just my opinion, I believe Khamzat Chimaev has the star power to completely surpass a guy like Israel Adesanya, a guy like Charles Oliveira. All these guys, I believe that Khamzat Chimaev, he has that ability to surpass them. You know what I mean? And I can't exactly pinpoint why. There's certain things I like about him. There's certain things I dislike about him. But he clearly clicks with almost all the casual fans. Even the guys that hate Dagestani fighters, they'll literally look you dead in the eyes and tell you Islam Makhachev sucks at fighting. They'll look you dead in the eyes and call Habib a bum, all these kind of things. And if a fighter is in any way Dagestani, has MOV at the end of their name, they're immediately a bum no matter what they've done, no matter who they've beat, it doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, these guys still greatly respect Khamzat Chimaev. So clearly, he's the Dagestani guy, even though he's not Dagestani, and they all, it all clicks. So Khamzat Chimaev is an absolute superstar, and I believe a win over Kamaru Usman, that'd be his biggest win of his entire career in a new weight class. And Dana White already said winners guaranteed the next title shot. That's wild to me. And a couple things I want to get into. This fight announcement opens up a couple of doors that I don't think a lot of people are really seeing. Not only does this mean that Dricus du Plessis is never getting a middleweight title shot, at least not yet. I mean, Belal Muhammad is not fighting Kamaru Usman. Belal Muhammad is going to be out for a very long time, sitting there waiting for his title shot that may never come. Imagine if Colby Covington beats Leon Edwards. Maybe they do a rematch there. Imagine Colby Covington wins and then Kamaru Usman loses and goes down in weight and wants to fight Colby for the belt because he has 2 wins over him. Then, Belal Muhammad's still not getting a shot. Now, what if Colby wins and then Leon wins in the rematch? Then Belal's still not getting a shot. Well, what if Leon wins and then Shavkat wins? And then they give Shavkat a shot because he's a bigger star than Bilal Muhammad. I mean, there's a real possibility that Bilal Muhammad will never get a welterweight title shot. And the same can be said for Dricus du Plessis. If Hamza Chimaev sleeps Kamaru Usman out cold, mark my words, the UFC and Dana White are giving Hamza Chimaev the next title shot. They do not care that Dricus du Plessis had one of the craziest upsets of all time in beating Robert Whittaker. And in my opinion, this is just my opinion, Dricus du Plessis deserves a title shot more than anyone. He deserves a title shot more than Adesanya. He deserves a title shot more than, Hamza Chimaev. He deserves a title shot more than Kamaru Usman if he wins. It doesn't matter. Even if all those fighters win their next fight, I still believe that Dricus du Plessis deserves a title shot more than any of them. Beating Robert Whittaker at this state in his career, beating Robert Whittaker in the way that he did, completely shutting him down, dominating him, and finishing him early in the second round, I mean, you got to earn a title. I mean, that literally is the definition of that kind of performance deserves you a title shot. It earns you a title shot. But at the end of the day, Dricus du Plessis may never get one. And Bilal Muhammad, this only proves Bilal Muhammad's going to be inactive. And he's going to have to find a fight because he was looking like, oh, Kamaru Usman fight's going to happen. But then Usman was like, I'm not fighting him unless it's for the belt. And Bilal Muhammad was like, talking about, oh, I'm already better than GSP, or with a win over Usman, I'm all kinds of stuff. And I'm a fan of both guys, so it's unfortunate to see. But, I'm really interested to see what Bilal Muhammad, fights next, who he fights next, what's going to happen with him. And the same can be said for Dricus du Plessis. I believe he's probably going to fight Jared Cannonier or something, maybe Marvin Vettori. We're going to have to find out. But at the end of the day, man, this fight between Hamza Chimaev and Kamaru Usman is one of the biggest fights that people aren't going to see. They're going to see, oh my gosh, it's a Hamza Chimaev fight. Of course it's huge. Of course it's huge. It's Hamza Chimaev. And this fight is huge because, like I said, it's literally his moment. This is Hamza Chimaev's moment. And as for an early prediction, I got to go Hamza Chimaev. He's the younger guy. He seems to be more motivated. At the end of the day, though, Kamaru Usman took the fight on short notice, up a weight class, 2-fight losing streak, 36 years old, across the world. It's against Hamza Chimaev, not just any other guy. It's Hamza Chimaev. So Kamaru Usman clearly cares about this very much because he's putting everything on the line here. You know what I mean? I talked about how it's a win-win situation, but if he loses this, for his personality, for him personally, for his mental state, this is going to be a very, he's putting everything on the line. Now, as far as marketing, he lost to Hamza Chimaev, up a weight class, 36 years old, across the world, 10 days notice, that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, he's putting a lot on the line here for him personally. And Hamza Chimaev, he cannot afford to lose this fight. If Hamza Chimaev loses this fight, he's done for. He's not getting a title fight for a long time. And we may never see the same kind of, ferocity from him again. We may never see that kind of juggernaut style from him again where everyone fears him. He's going to be looked at as someone that's beatable. You know what I mean? He looked very beatable against Gilbert Burns, and there's a good chance Kamaru Usman can make him look beatable. And like I said, as for an early prediction, I'm going Hamza Chimaev. But at the end of the day, this is not just a Hamza Chimaev fight. This is Hamza Chimaev's kind of magnum opus. If he can beat Kamaru Usman convincingly, if he can go out there and submit him, the title shot, the title fight between him and Strickland or Adesanya or Dricus, whoever it is going to be massive. It's going to be one of the biggest fights in the last decade. It's going to sell easily over 1 million pay-per-view buys. I truly believe Hamza Chimaev, if he wins this fight in his crowning magnum opus moment and then goes out in there and wins his next fight, maybe he beats Strickland via finish. You look at Abus Magomedov, took Strickland down, got his back in a couple seconds. Imagine Hamza Chimaev does that, submits him. I believe Hamza Chimaev could become one of the biggest stars MMA has ever seen, literally a top 5 star in MMA history. I'm going to go Hamza Chimaev via first round submission, maybe second round. I think the fight's going to start out very, very slow. Hamza Chimaev is going to start very, very patient. He's going to try to stay technical. Kamaru Usman, say what you want about him. Talk about wobblestone, cobblestone knees, washed, all this, 36 years old. He is a significantly better fighter than Paulo Costa ever was. Lucas Tracy, I saw the thumbnail to his video. Lucas Tracy is already talking about how Kamaru Usman is 20, 100 times better than Paulo Costa. This could not be closer to the truth. He's significantly better than Paulo Costa. This is a much more dangerous fight for a guy like Hamza Chimaev. And it's a fight where it's more dangerous in the sense that he could lose via decision. Whereas a fight with a guy like Paulo Costa, although Costa's not known for finishing guys, you're more likely to get finished by Paulo Costa at middleweight than you are by Usman at middleweight. And if Usman wins, there's that fight with Strickland, bro. Usman has a win over Strickland. I know it's at welterweight. I know it was a long time ago, but he has that win, and I guarantee you Strickland is going to want to get that win back. So there's a lot of possibilities. If Khamzat loses, he's done. If Usman wins, he's guaranteed a title shot at middleweight, and he has that beef with Strickland. He has that history with Strickland. If Usman loses, he can go down, and if Colby wins, he pretty much has himself a guaranteed title shot because he has 2 wins against Colby. And Bilal Muhammad's clearly going to be inactive at this point. And Dricus du Plessis is almost confirmed to not have a title shot. And like I said, dude, this could be Khamzat Chimaev's magnum opus. Dana White's not going to want to ruin this. If, Khamzat Chimaev knocks him out cold or submits him in the first round, Israel Adesanya is not getting a title shot when he comes back. And I already said in my video immediately after the, 292 or 293, I already said, Israel Adesanya does not deserve a title shot upon return. But, if Khamzat Chimaev has a crazy highlight reel KO, highlight reel submission, it's over. He's not getting the next title shot. And I could not be happier about that because I don't believe he deserves one. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you do not miss another upload. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.